Sorry to all our viewers out there, but this episode, unfortunately, our video was corrupted. But please still listen. It's a great episode of, unfortunately, just audio. But I did my best for those people who are looking to watch it, and I gave you some fun still pictures to look at. Again, sorry for it. Keep tuning in. We appreciate you.
For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world on HBO pay-per-view. Ladies and gentlemen, from Mandalay Bay, Las Vegas, let's get ready to rumble!
Hello, welcome to the I'm Angry, Annoyed, Amused podcast. You're on with Mike. Sitting next to me is Johnny.
Yo.
And over there is the other Mike.
Hello.
We're one short right now for this episode, but he doesn't really talk much anyway, so we're just gonna we're gonna get by. We're gonna get by.
When you were doing the announcements, did you pause for a second because you're so used to saying Matt?
I thought about it, but I was looking, so it helped out. I was worried about messing up, but nonetheless. So today, what we are going to be talking about, especially also Matt happened to miss the fight, so it's partly why. But we're going to be talking about the Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight, and then also the first. Actually, we're going to be talking about the earlier card or co-main event. I think it was early. I think it was technically an undercard.
We're going to talk about them first.
Yeah. But it was Katie Taylor and I believe Amanda Serrano. Mm-hmm. I might be messing up.
That was an.
It might not be
incredible
Amanda,
fight.
but I think it's Amanda Serrano.
I'll look up the names to confirm, but that was an incredible fight.
But yeah, I'll go first. I think it was that fight was obviously better than the main event. I thought. I mean, by a lot.
A lot.
That should have been the main event. You know,
Absolutely.
in retrospect, obviously they didn't know. But great fight. I love the. I don't watch a lot of boxing at all. I've definitely not watched I've seen like enough, or I've seen a good bit of like women's UFC because they just fight in the main cards. There's not like a separate. I mean, boxing might be the same. Also, I don't know this. I don't watch a lot of boxing, so I just don't know. UFC, if you're watching the UFC fights, a women's fight is just in the middle of it, so you watch it, and they're great fighters. Like it's always an entertaining fight. But what I thought was really cool about the Serrano Taylor fight was they were just duking it out for most of the time. I mean, Katie Taylor, I thought was kind of, clinching up a bit too much, but they were just duking it out.
They were.
It was like great to watch.
hitting
It's
each
like
other
fun
hard.
to watch. They were just punching.
After watching the Tyson fight,
That fight was
it was
after.
so much better watching them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In
retrospect,
it
yeah,
was so
for
much
sure.
better watching them. They should have been the main event.
Yeah.
Because in my heart, I wanted to see Tyson win. I guess that's just the sentimental part of it.
Well, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But also, like, his training looked like he was fierce, man. And I don't know if that was all now faked. But I think the fight was, I think it was staged. I think it was, just an exhibition.
So he's done with the Amanda. He's passed the
I was gonna.
Serrano Taylor fight
done,
already.
I'm not done with the man.
No, we can go back
He just
to
kept.
that.
He just
I just-
right in.
supposed to talk.
I just rolled on.
right over. Okay.
Evidently.
Yeah. So like you, I'm not a. I don't really know boxing much.
Amanda Serrano.
And I was
Amanda,
at.
okay.
I was at a friend's house who was watching it, who happens to be Irish and happens to know this Taylor girl, and was hyping her up like this girl's amazing, she's phenomenal, and that the two of them have already fought already, but in Ireland or somewhere, I don't know,
Yeah.
something.
I think so. I
And there
think
was
that's
this
true.
huge like thing that Taylor only won because of certain reasons like that. So we were watching that fight, and it was like watching with someone was so blinded because he's Irish and she was Irish, and he's like, I'm like, dude,
I think she lost
She
that
sucks.
fight. I thought
I'm
she
like,
lost that
this,
fight.
This is not like the hype they gave her and like how great. And I'm like,
And she was the champ. She was coming in as the
yeah.
champ.
And I'm like,
the champ.
this girl is not that great. And then, like you said, all the bear hugging was driving
Yeah.
me crazy, and
Yeah.
the headbutting.
I don't know. She even got a point deducted for that.
She did.
I don't understand at all point scoring in fighting sports.
I don't
any
know
of them,
either.
even UFC, which I
Yeah,
watch
yeah.
more of. It's not like I'm a big UFC guy, but
Right.
maybe it's something you have to do to like really get into. You know what I mean? But looking at just the the tail of the
True,
tape or
anything.
whatever they call the stats after.
Yeah.
But I mean like football, right? If somebody like. It's hard because it's a judgment call. Football, there's a winner and there's a loser. You can argue about if somebody cheated, right? But like when it's the thing, I'm like, I don't know what they're looking at. Because to me, when I see the end of the fight, I'm like, other than the headbutt that cut Serrano's eye open, Taylor looked way worse.
Right.
She did.
According to the actual stats they put up, not like that I
but
made
it's
up,
like-
I'm tracking.
but that's-
100 more punches Serrano landed.
There is obviously a thing to it, right? How many punches land and all of that stuff. Like,
Yeah.
that all matters.
Yeah.
But it's just like any other sport. Like, I find basketball some of the calls is just based on what the referee
But when the
is feeling
winner
at
is
that
like,
time.
but the whole winner is just like one call.
Yeah,
it's just,
it is,
it's
I
just
guess.
the ref saying these guys won, and it's like,
Yeah.
that's crazy. I mean,
Based on the
and
points,
there's
I
a
don't know.
fight.
Yeah, you could
I just don't know. I'm saying I don't know what the scoring
I don't really-
criteria
you know
is,
what? I
so I
honestly,
can't
like-
talk that much about it. But 100 extra like 100 more punches landed, and watching the fight, it's not like. Yeah, they like it was 100 punches, but every time you clearly saw it was like
So you felt she
it was
was-
like that hitting an arm.
You felt she was cheated.
I think so.
She was.
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
not
It
cheated,
looked
but
like
she was
she-
cheated.
The reason I won't say cheat is because I don't understand the scoring.
Right,
so
right.
I feel I
I
would.
know, but looking
I'm
at
not
the
gonna say
fight,
cheated.
looking at the fight.
I was
Looking at the
shocked.
If that
fight,
was a street
I think
fight,
she
who do you
won.
think was the winner?
Serrano,
Serrano
100%.
won that.
Right? I
What-
mean, like,
Definitely.
without a doubt.
Definitely.
What made it really interesting to me is when the fight was finally over, I didn't think she was going to be announced the winner, and she was. But then when the commentator went up to like speak to her, he almost like called her out for like really
Yeah.
not being a better fighter. And it's like,
Yeah.
when he called her out for the headbutts, I was like, wow, that's really bad if that's
Yeah, I mean,
happening.
it seemed noticeable. Like
Yeah.
Serrano's coach, and I mean, it's Serrano's coach, but
Right.
you would think like they wouldn't. Most people aren't going to immediately say like they cheated us. It's like
Oh,
just not a
he-
good look in sports.
and he
he's
did.
like this is the second time it happened because apparently I never saw the first
Yeah,
fight.
he did-
but
she
they
did
said there was a
the-
similar situation
Yeah.
where it was
It
like
was. They
really
showed
Serrano
they
should
showed,
have
like,
won.
Stuff from the
Yeah, his
previous
one
fight
comment
in the
was,
pre,
I think he said,
Yeah.
it's hard to beat someone that uses two hands and a head.
Mm-hmm.
And he
Yeah.
goes, and we knew that coming in. We tried to prepare for it, but it's impossible.
Yeah, I think
and
that
then
was- it was-
and then they were like, "Will you fight her again?" And he's like, "Absolutely, but she's got to leave her head at home." Like it's like,
Yeah, it's
we're
like,
done-
I-
we're
it was
done.
It was an absolutely brutal fight. It
Yeah.
was
Yeah,
like,
it was entertaining to watch.
It was
regardless.
entertaining.
Regardless,
It was,
and I had no skin in the game of who won, to be honest with
Yeah.
you. But
I didn't even know they were
thought
fighting,
Serrano should have won.
honestly.
The
Yeah,
way-
Serrano
it's
should
just
have
the way
won
it
that.
looked to me.
Yeah.
And like I said, I can't account for what the scoring is, how they do it.
Yeah.
I
she
know
said
there
she
is a
should have won too.
formula to it.
Another
But who knows,
thing.
man? Everything cheats these days.
Well, that's why I didn't want to say like cheating makes it
you know what?
Yeah.
targeted. Like saying
But-
cheating is like
but
somebody is
headbutts
trying
are
to
illegal.
cheat. That headbutting,
So
that's a cheat.
that's a
Like that's
cheat.
her cheating.
That's how cheating.
What I'm saying is like, I think this always happens in fight sports. Again, I don't know enough to like talk that much about it, but that because the decision just comes down to like three guys deciding, there's a lot more contentious fight picks. You know what I mean? Than other sports, because sports, yeah, there's bad calls, right? And people complain about entire basketball games around a couple calls. Imagine if the whole game was decided. They're like, yeah, they played. We stopped keeping track of the score, and these three refs decided that the Lakers won. They just played better. And
Isn't
somebody's
that-
like, well, they made more.
Isn't that what
These
they
guys
do?
made more buckets. Like that's what it feels like to me.
Don't they do that?
As
in
I'm
all
looking,
the
it's like,
Kansas City Chief games now.
well, but right,
Pretty
you're saying
much.
it, but at
It's
least
scripted.
there is a score, and at some point they're getting into the end
Seems
zone.
like it's scripted.
Right, and I'm not saying cheating in general. I'm saying I don't.
I know,
When you
well-
say cheating, it's
well,
like
look
did
at it
Katie
this way,
Taylor
like
have
this.
these people on the
Like-
payroll?
like-
I don't know.
So let's say
right?
cheating
Like that's what I
does
mean.
go on in sports now, especially with sports betting being so big, right?
Yeah.
You wonder what's going on.
Right.
Maybe boxing's the harder one to cheat in that way because it does look so obvious. I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't
I don't know. I don't know.
Maybe that's why it feels that way.
I'm just
saying,
I could really care less.
I
who
feel
won.
like you can
I could really
cheat
care what the
easily in
points were.
boxing.
Yeah,
The
it was a great fight.
Brutal.
It was a great fight,
Totally enjoying
especially
watching
with what happened afterwards.
Which
Yeah.
one?
That fight. I'm
that-
saying Serrano Taylor
Right.
was a great fight, especially
Oh.
looking back on it after the next
After
fight
the
was
next
a
fight.
snooze fest.
Yeah, they should have been the main event, man. I didn't like it.
I honestly, I liked Tyson. Moving on, if you guys are good to move on to the.
It's up to you. I moved on already.
He moved on 10 minutes ago.
Oh, you got a phone call too.
No, he got his
Nice.
half-hour reminder.
I got
Oh,
my
that's good.
15-minute reminder.
That's good. That is absurd, actually.
I
If you
gotta
do that all
roll
day,
off
that's
and check.
crazy.
I'll be right back.
You gotta not do that.
What's really
That's
bad,
crazy.
he needs to
Start
remind
without me.
himself to do his job.
That is crazy.
That's why I forget to do it.
But you're doing it now.
Okay. Well, we're gonna keep going.
gonna keep
he's
going.
gonna flow back on.
So
Yeah, the Tyson fight. I agree. I don't have as much of the I guess nostalgia. I never saw Tyson fight when he was fighting, but like he's always been like a I don't know personality, like something.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's just one of those guys who's like so legendary.
Yep.
He just everybody knows who he is. You always I've like
Absolutely.
seen fights of his, like looked him up and stuff, and like at some point every guy is gonna look up like a Mike Tyson knockout compilation, just see all of them, whatever. So like I wanted him to win, also because I respect, I guess, like I think he's all grifting Jake Paul. Like I think he's doing everything he does. I think is to make money. I doubt
Yeah,
he's actually
100%.
that. I
He's-
doubt he's actually that
he's
insufferable
a social
of a
media
person.
megastar.
Yeah, but
That's
I
all
just
that.
I could be wrong. I just feel
Listen,
like in
before
person
we
he's probably not as
start
bad,
talking
like as
bad about him,
annoying.
They say he's a really nice guy.
No, he seems to
Jake
be
Paul,
nice.
that's what exactly what I'm
And
saying.
he gives back and everything.
And he's done a lot.
That's what I'm
he
saying.
has done a
I'm
lot
saying his
for the
So the
persona.
more
sport.
money he makes, as long as he's giving
His
it back.
his persona is like WWE heel persona,
But I just-
which
Right.
is so
I don't
annoying
think-
though in real life.
In looking back on it, I don't think he would have fought Tyson if he thought Tyson was really going to go at him. I
Yeah.
think there was a plan there.
Listen, we
I think it looked
Tyson would have taken
crooked.
his head off. And the more I watch clips and people explain these clips about, you could see the punches being held back.
and that's the thing with Tyson, right? We all in his prime, they called him Iron Mike for a reason. The guy threw hits like you couldn't believe. Yeah, he's what 56, 58, something like that. He's definitely not gonna throw. But the guy's still. I mean, if he hit any of us, I think I'd fall down.
I go
You
back
know?
and forth because prior to the fight, when it first got announced, I thought it's a 60-year-old man. All of Jake Paul's other fights have just been pretty much money grabs, like
Right.
fighting random guys that they're probably throwing the fights. Who even cares? Like,
Right.
I don't follow it. I'll watch one if I think it's going to be a knockout. You know what I mean? But whatever. Like Tyron Woodley, I watched that one because I was like, I hope he knocks him out. He took a dive for the money. It happens. Whatever.
Right.
They're all trying to make money. With Tyson, I was like, we're gonna have to cut that. With Tyson, my thought was, well, he's 60. It's just a money thing. And then the training videos started coming out.
getting
And I was
excited.
like,
I was
oh
watching
man,
this guy. He's crazy.
maybe he'll knock
he
him
was
out.
moving,
and
dunking,
then the
speed.
narrative,
He did
I
Yeah.
none of that.
the narrative,
No.
the narrative in my head was, Jake Paul thought this was gonna be, like, he's like, let me get Tyson. He's a boxer. He's a retired boxer. He's 60 years old, but he's like as legendary as you can get with boxing.
Probably
Outside of like Muhammad Ali.
Muhammad Ali.
Right, who he couldn't fight. He probably would if he could in his late stages, but nonetheless. But what like the narrative in my head that formed was, he thought this was going to be an easy, like, oh, we'll punch each other a little bit. We'll go to decision. I'll get to fight a legend. He'll make money. I'll make money. It's all
Right.
good. And then I thought like Tyson, because in interviews for years before this fight was announced, at an older age, he's like, I don't want to start fighting because it's like, that's a different guy.
That's a different
he's
guy,
like a
yeah.
psycho.
He's like,
Kinda.
yeah.
Like Tyson
Right,
is
right.
sort of,
Killer when I
and he's
get in
like,
the ring.
when I get in the ring, I'm insane.
Right.
And he's like,
He says
it
it.
awakens
I know.
my ego, all this psycho stuff.
I can see that.
And I was like, maybe Jake Paul really didn't see this through, and Tyson
Listen,
went
I
that
could see-
crazy,
I-
and it's going to be a knockout, and then that didn't happen, and that was sad.
I could see all sides of this thing. I could see Tyson doing it for the money, and I
Absolutely.
wouldn't begrudge him that at all.
Nope.
Right? I mean,
I would. I do. I would and I do.
I wouldn't. But they should have said, like, if that was the case, then
Call it an
then say it's
exhibition.
an exhibition, like when Rocky fought Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan. Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah,
and
Or
yeah,
when
yeah.
when
if shit
Tyson
happens, shit
fought
happens. I don't
when
really
Tyson
care, but,
fought Roy Jones
like,
Jr.
I don't want, like, I wanted to see a fight.
Yeah.
Like, even if Tyson came out and battled for the first round and then lost his legs, I would be like, all right, he's 60 years old. He
Yep.
was sick too. He was sick,
Apparently, yeah.
legitimately. Well, I guess legitimately, right? They said
that's
he
what
was
they
in the
said. I
hospital.
don't know.
You know, I'm so like, if he would have given if one round would have looked like the training videos, I would have
I
been
would've been
satisfied.
happy.
He gave
that.
maybe 10 seconds.
I thought right off the bat, I was like, I think it was fake, all about money myself. And I was like, one, I think Tyson would look good in the ring. I don't think why I thought it was real. I was like, there is no way that Tyson would ever get in the ring with someone if he knows he's going to get knocked out. Like, it's one thing for him to lose at this stage in his career, like he doesn't care about, and to make money, let's go down, let's get beat. But going down, he's never been knocked out, and he wouldn't want that on his
But I
professional
don't
thing.
know if he ever got into the ring thinking anybody was ever going to.
No, I know, but I'm saying this-
When he was
goes-
really boxing?
When he was
Right, when he's really boxing.
Yeah.
But now he had to have thought that. So that's one reason I thought it was fake. And the second reason I would have thought it was fake is Jake Paul, like, he does a lot of things for money. He's a multi-millionaire just on his stunts and his, like, social media stuff. So I think it was planned on him. And Jake Paul, too, not a great boxer, but definitely can hold his own. And he did not even
He's a
look
strong
like
guy. He's a big guy.
He's
Like,
a
it's
big guy.
not,
But he didn't even look like
No,
he
but
was
even,
fighting.
at
No,
the
but
end of the
what he
fight-
said
at the
is
end of
like,
the fight,
he's
he
like,
could
I
have
didn't
knocked
want to
Tyson
knock
out.
him out.
But then he took
Yeah.
the
He's like, he's a
bow to
legend.
him and he
Like,
did
come
all
on,
this.
man.
He did
Is it a fight or is it a fight?
Well, no,
Exactly,
I was.
exactly.
Call it an
what-
exhibition,
I was
fine.
okay at that
That's
last
what I'm
10
saying.
seconds
I
because
wasn't.
like that.
no, the last second
No.
seconds to me, like, either it was fake or real, whatever. I feel like you weren't going to knock
I
him out
think
that last.
Jake Paul
the
should've
bow-
gone for blood.
but
I
the
think
bow
if Jake
down was
Paul
kind
took
of
a couple
respect.
real swipes at Tyson.
I would have felt
Tyson
better
might
about
have
the
snapped.
fight.
I
Maybe.
think so.
Tyson
Maybe
might
they,
have
maybe they
snapped
had an
at that
actual
point, and that would've
agreement
been- I
before.
think they had an agreement. I think the whole thing was fixed.
I think it was
didn't-
fixed,
I
too.
didn't think so going into it. I was really hoping it was going to be a fight. Sentimentally, I wanted Tyson to win so bad.
Oh yeah, it would've been
You know what I
cool.
think's really
But
sad?
the whole thing was depressing.
I think's really
Horrible
sad.
to watch.
And this is, look,
And thank God it
I
wasn't a
would I would be
pay-per-view.
lying if I would say like I wouldn't for $60 million do a fake fight. Right?
Oh, yeah.
for sure.
Totally
But I
would.
just I would.
Absolutely.
But it's like it
I
does
do a real one for 60 million.
It does. So look, if Mike Tyson went broke in the midst of all these things, like, which I didn't think he was. He has a successful podcast.
Yeah, but
he has like
he's not wealthy.
like fine,
It
but
doesn't matter. You throw
but, like,
you dangle
but
$20
this-
million in front of somebody. Say you got to get in a room.
no, but
for
don't you? Shouldn't
6 rounds or whatever.
I just
it
feel
was.
like somebody out there should have some like pride in a thing like boxing your whole career.
No, that's why
Like
he.
there is,
But that's why
you know
he
what I
didn't
mean?
get.
Like
that's
this-
why he
in
wasn't going to
sports.
get knocked
Like
out.
sports
but-
are done because of all the
nothing's
money.
like that
Sports,
anymore.
nobody
But that's
cares.
what I'm saying.
Like
That's
everybody's
why
like,
he
I'll
didn't
go to
get
any
knocked
team.
out. That
I
was
don't
his
know.
pride. If he got
I think
knocked
it's
out,
I think it's better to get knocked out. If
No.
if he went in there and
'Cause
he
it-
happened to just be a 60-year-old man.
Yeah, but this
and he
counted
was-
against
his legs
his
look
record.
terrible.
This counted on his
Fine.
record.
Eat that. But then accept that it's
No.
a fight.
But take
if it's
the
an
20
exhibition, it's an
million
exhibition.
and just lose.
To throw a fake fight. I mean, they should if they agreed prior that it's not a real fight and then they bill it as a fight. I think they should both. All the money should be taken. Whatever
isn't there-
whatever ramifications
there's a
come from that
rematch now,
fake
isn't there?
thing? I don't think so.
I heard.
Maybe
I heard from somebody, and I don't know if this is true at all, but I heard there is a rematch. But because of all this, they're not allowed to fight here because it would be under the.
Oh, I
the
saw
fight.
the, like, Saudi Arabian
So they're supposed to be
prince.
doing it
Yeah.
in Saudi Arabia now.
He was
He
offering,
offered, like, $800
X
million.
amount of money
Yeah.
to
You know they're
Tyson
gonna
to
do
fight
it.
him again.
You know they're
But
gonna.
he wants
If
a
it's
real
fake,
fight.
but he wants a real fight.
Yeah, but they'll
I'm sure
do
he'll
that
have
for
stipulations.
But that's the thing.
I don't know.
If Mike Tyson can go there for a real fight and he gets knocked out, it won't affect his record. So then he's going to do that.
But that's the thing, right? If you're worried about your record, if that's a legacy deal to you,
sanctioned fight for. Like,
it was a fight. I
It was a
believe
san-
technically
it
it's
was
sanctioned.
sanctioned.
Yeah, it was
I
sanctioned.
think that's what made it like a real
Yes,
fight. It was
that's what
sanctioned
I'm
by whatever
saying.
the
It
Las
was-
Vegas boxing.
It
Committee,
was a sanctioned fight.
whatever that means. I know that boxing stuff's like
then you're
It
right.
means
Then all
exactly what
the-
I'm saying.
then all
It,
the
Yeah, it's
it
just-
affects
it's like a
his
real-
it affects his
Right.
record.
professional
and everything.
record. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I think
why.
Right, all the
Johnson-
money should come back. If that's true, I don't know who knows, right? It'll probably
they
never
were
come
showing-
out. I'm
We
sure they
should
just
send
talk. The two of
Johnny-
them
We should
themselves.
send Johnny to Mike Tyson's house to demand the money back. That's what I think.
But like Tyson would knock him out
Let's see if he
and
knocks
look
me
like
out.
a real, but he'd throw a real punch.
And then I go,
I don't know, man.
Or set the tiger on him. Either one.
Yeah, it's just
Either
I don't
way,
know.
He's gonna bite.
We'll be in the car filming.
It's,
it.
that
it's a
was to the-
shame because it's like, but I understand that like you guys are saying you would do it. You don't have take anything against him for doing it. But there is
No,
something sad about a guy who spent like he is a boxing legend.
Yeah.
And he just threw the sport
yeah, but he
to
also
the
has
wind.
no money.
Fine, if he's broken, like that's
They-
his
they-
last
that's
dollar.
right.
Okay, but I didn't
He
think he was
should be-
broke.
he should be
has
so
like
much-
successful business.
but
How was he
he-
that
I'll
broke?
say it again.
He should
Like,
be so much richer for being one of the
They
greatest
should've-
boxers. in the
they
I mean,
world.
but
should've
he
said-
didn't manage his money well.
they
Like he's
should've
had obviously a
said-
rough
they
life.
should've said
no.
it was an exhibition.
Fine,
To
cool,
me, it
do
was.
that. That's
They
fine.
should have.
But even on-
That would've been
So
cool.
In that regard, they ripped us off.
But look at
Because they were
social
trying to
media.
make it like somebody's gonna get knocked
Wasn't
out.
a pay-per-view.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
Right?
probably
That's
why
true.
they. That's probably why they didn't do a
Imagine if it was a
pay-per-view.
pay-per-view.
That's
That's
probably
true.
why they did
People
it.
would be crazy right
Yeah,
now.
That's
that's probably
true.
why they did
Right?
it. And let's just talk.
Imagine buying that fight.
No.
Unless it-
$60, like it was like I bought the Mayweather Pacquiao
but how
fight,
many-
and I was mad about that.
Yeah.
That was actually at least Pacquiao was trying to knock out Floyd, and Floyd was defending it as a boxer, not just like dancing with each other.
Yeah, I didn't like
But
that
how
fight
much
either.
did I mean a lot? How much did Netflix make? I'm sure there's
of
thousands
money. I
of
don't know.
people
It was
that
like a
signed
lot
up for
of
that one
views.
day.
Because of that, I know.
So
Probably.
that be.
No, I
And then
think,
even
uh,
that. Let's go.
very,
That's good
very
money
pause.
making. Like
Let's
I don't.
pause for a minute from the fight and talk about how horrible the streaming was.
Oh, it was bad.
The whole
It was
the whole thing was
really
bad. The
Netflix
whole
was not ready
broadcast
for
was
it.
bad.
They were not
just
ready.
the streaming, but the announcing, like the people they had. It was
Yeah.
I can't believe they could
It
at
was-
that
Why did
size
they have
be so
Rosie
bad.
Perez?
Yeah, I don't know. She was probably one of the best ones, though.
I don't know.
Honestly,
Maybe, yeah.
She was one of the best
That's
ones.
true. That's true.
At least that
I don't know.
saw.
You would think Netflix. Like I understand they don't do live events, but like you're a massive,
Yeah.
like multi-million dollar.
There had to be someone that could have asked.
Kid,
for help,
right?
to
Like,
make
aren't
sure
there a
it went
bunch of
off well.
production
That
people who do
that
this
do
professionally?
that. They
Like,
weren't
all
ex-
the time. How do
they-
you still mess it up?
Their
Or the tech.
servers have to be so big, and there's ways to test that and stretch your servers out.
You think they
before
should?
Like how it was so grainy and low def. Oh my damn!
You know what it might be? Honestly, and maybe this is just a general thing that isn't true, but I feel like it is.
Like most of the things we say.
No, I just feel like you know how, and I don't know if we've talked about this like on the podcast, but I know that we've definitely had this like general conversation. The attention span of people in the aggregate is getting so much smaller.
Oh, I know
right?
that
Like,
one.
I mean, Trump.
Look at me. I got to
Couple-
remind myself every 15 minutes.
Right, a couple months ago, they tried to assassinate Trump twice, and like both of those times, it was like a week, and nobody cared.
Right.
Like that would have been big. I mean, I don't know, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, however long you want to go back, and that's just like on a global scale, or at least national. And I wonder if now, like Netflix is like, yeah, we could spend a lot of, we could test out the servers, we could do all this. That's all going to cost money. What we're gonna do though is just
go
limp it out,
wing it.
cheapest possible.
Right.
People complain, but they already paid. They're gonna watch
they'll
it,
get over
and then the next event, people are gonna forget how bad. Nobody's
yeah.
gonna not
'Cause the
watch
amount
it.
of people that went back to them and said, "I want a refund because this was terrible." It was like
Probably
It's
negligible,
so
and
little.
they just say
It's
no.
so little.
And they just say no to those people anyway. They're like, I wasn't able to watch
all the
it.
money they made off everything else.
I don't think for a second somebody's like, look, I bought Netflix that day to watch this fight, and the stream was blacked out for 7 hours, and I
Right.
couldn't watch any of it.
Some
They'll
people-
go, well, you can. It's still saved on there, so you can go and rewatch it. So that's fine. And then
Right.
if they're like, no, I want my money back. I wanted to watch it that night. I had people over. They're gonna say that's something with your internet.
And not only
We
that,
saw it fine. Like we're Netflix.
Right. And not only that,
we
they're going to
projected
say
it.
your money.
I don't think
didn't-
they will.
Your money didn't buy just the fight. It gave you a month worth of access.
Yeah. You
So
think they're gonna
do that.
refund people?
What do they care?
You think they're gonna? That's why they don't. Because why
$7,
would they?
I'm not here to complain.
Why would they? What does the person
Because-
complaining have any
because
right to that money
A
though?
million people signed up, and 1,000 people are going to go back and ask for their money back.
And you think Netflix is going to give it
They're gonna
back?
fight
Are you
them over it?
are you nuts?
No, come on. People refund everything all the time now.
No, no,
everything.
no, no.
Companies
Customer, no. Customer like Amazon might
do.
because their whole thing is like they want to
They
be
want you to use it
immediate and
again.
direct for Amazon, not Netflix. What do they get? They got the $7 they wanted from you.
then-
What do they think you're going to do? Go around and cancel all your friends' subscriptions?
You're
No.
going to cancel.
No.
You're going to cancel your subscription in a month, and they're never going to come back to you. And all their whole business is built on subscriptions.
No. I disagree with you entirely.
don't.
I know you do.
About
No,
about the fact that you think Netflix. Can you look it up? Look, I just wonder, just see if they refunded anybody because I doubt it. But nonetheless, I just think they're going to limp out of bed.
It would have been so small it didn't even make the news.
This is what happened. You guys might. I don't know. You guys don't play video games. Johnny, you
Oh.
might a little bit.
I play a lot.
Okay, Johnny does.
Which one do you want to play?
Any of them. I just there's a thing that like you used to
Dragon's
buy.
Lair.
Dragons. I love that game. Oh my god, that was the game where you get to pick left and right. I love that was so
That was the
dope.
best game ever.
So dope.
Well, you used to get a game that was finished, polished, ready to play.
Absolutely.
Now a lot of games come out and they're pretty much still like in beta testing.
Oh, I like when
Because
you
they just let the
Yeah.
masses like decide, oh,
Figure
this
it
doesn't
out.
work, this doesn't work.
Rather than having
and the
to-
people are like, but I did pay. I paid $70 for this
it's cheaper.
today.
It's cheaper than having a QA team. That's why.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. They
You
use
just-
everybody as like
and
the
everybody
last.
writes in and
they're
says,
the
"Oh,
last round
shit."
of testing, and
Exactly.
they get to go. Oh, sorry, we're gonna fix all this stuff, and then
Yeah.
you get the real game 4 months later.
Yeah, you get the update.
And like, while I understand like as a cost thing, but as like the consumer, I'm not. I shouldn't be the cheaper version of your
Yeah.
labor.
Right.
That's not how that works.
No.
Regardless of like the economics of it, that's
Right.
not the idea. But the reason that they can do it and get away with it is because they all do it and they all get away with it. Or the big games do it and get away with it.
Yep.
So like an indie game probably doesn't have enough. They're not gonna have enough people join this.
No.
Call of Duty though, they're gonna just because the name's Call of Duty.
I mean,
they're gonna have.
Everybody
I don't know,
buys it.
50 million, however many first day people buy it, say this game stinks, it's all laggy and broken, and then they're going to sign in the next day anyway.
Yeah. And
With
then-
another additional 50 million.
and then
However,
they'll hear about everything and they'll send a patch out.
they'll send a patch in 2 months and say game's
Done.
ready to go. And like that just annoys me. It's such like a, I don't know, it's nefarious. Like it's like this evil
Yeah.
kind of thing.
They do.
that,
I mean, like
companies
you're
do
like,
en
like you're
masse
saying,
now.
it's everything.
It's everything, right? It's like that's why they get away with it.
You know, everything, cars, everything you buy, there's
Yeah.
something wrong with it. And they use the masses to figure it out.
I know. I hate that. But it's
Yeah.
like it's so I can't even think of the word like that would have how it feels. But like it's like the
Underhanded.
Netflix thing, like it's their first they build it as like it's the first Netflix live event, it's this big deal. And then it like
It
sucks.
fails.
It
Right.
sucks. But they're like, well, the next one those things will be a bit better. Like we'll have a better, whatever. Judge, we'll have a
They're
better
battling over it, but they do say that you could get a refund potentially.
Okay. They'll have a better commentator.
They're fighting it.
They'll have a better commentator. Maybe they'll fix some of the,
Right.
the streaming actual, like, so nobody gets blocked out and stuff. But
Right.
people, the same amount of, like, nobody's getting off it. Nobody's fighting about this on, boycott Netflix or
Right.
anything. And like, that's
But you're
it.
right.
It's just
But and
messed
one
up.
of the things they do is they trick other people and the people's mind. And then, like, you'll hear people all the time, like, oh, that was the first one. There was going to be kinks. Like, the next one's definitely going to be better. And
That's never
and
how things work.
And they go with that motto for everything. It's, it is really bad. There's
You're
only a
still
few
talking about
people.
broadcasting? I lost track. Or are you talking about games? You were on games for a minute.
I was just using games as, like,
We were talking about, just look at how much time you have before you got to look at that
I
computer.
have to
there.
look
That's
at
why
it
he
again
got
right now.
distracted.
I got
You can't do two
distracted
things at once.
looking at the Netflix thing
okay.
to see if they
That-
were
and you were
doing
wrong.
refunds.
And you were wrong,
And
so
it's,
that's
no,
good.
it said they are. You got to fight for it, but they are.
The episode's going to be
Okay.
called
People are asking for refunds because they subscribe just for that.
Okay.
Other Mike.
Fair enough.
Other Mike works while does podcast.
Well, what we were talking about
Am I working right now?
Other
Like,
mic.
just tapping a button.
was just that games used to, and I'm going to give the abridged version. Games used to come out and they were done, and you could just play the whole game through. Now they
Right,
they
like
send it out.
Dragon
It's
Lair.
not finished. They let
And it was
the
different every time.
sure.
So
So
you could pick
cool.
left, right.
Okay.
You know?
Up, down,
Cool.
pick
So
up the
much fun.
sword, pick up the
Yes.
fire stick. It was
Yes.
so dope. They should come back out with that.
Can we
on
get
a
that game now?
I don't think so.
What's it on?
I don't know.
I don't know who- I
It
don't
was
know
a
whose
game. It was in a.
It wasn't like a big.
Yeah, it
game.
wasn't a.
No,
it
no,
wasn't.
what,
no, it wasn't a home
what
game. It
system
was.
on? It had to be on something.
I don't remember who did it.
This was arcade. This was
Yeah, no, but it,
Oh,
well,
it was an arcade. Okay,
yeah.
so that's a system.
Well, yeah.
There's an operating system associated with that.
No, I don't remember who did it.
I'm just saying you can look
right,
it
right.
up because they have emulators for all of these old games.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's ported somewhere.
I've never found that one yet.
What's it
Can't-
called?
Can't find that one anywhere.
Dragon
Dragon's
Lair.
Dragon's Lair.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that
it was an
might
old
be-
arcade game. Okay.
It was.
It was great.
There might be an emulator. Someone probably created.
I mean, I
something on
know
it.
I see because like I have like a Game Boy one for like old
Yeah, yeah.
Pokemon games
Yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff. And
No, I
like they
have
have
a-
arcade, they have SNES, like
I
all
have
those things.
I have an emulator too to play like every game
Like the
system
old- yeah.
and all of them. But I've never
come
actually
across that one.
thought of looking up like Dragon Lair.
But if you go to YouTube, you could be very.
He got
You can
distracted.
watch- you can watch
he
the video.
distracted himself
You
this
can watch
time.
some
I know.
He asked what
I
we were
know.
talking about and then distracted himself.
we went from the Tyson fight.
Things
to
aren't
Dragon
finished
Lair.
products anymore.
Listen, I told
Other
you
Mike.
guys.
Things they don't come out as finished products.
So you don't have a good attention
I don't have
span?
a good attention span. I mean, how many times am I going to
But
tell
he
you?
gives
I'm
out to-
telling you right
but he
now.
gives
I'm
out to
I'm
us
telling
when
you
we've
the
changed
thing.
subject.
I'm saying the thing, and he's still like, I don't have an attention span.
You look up Dragon's Lair, see
am.
who
That's what he's
created
doing.
it, and we'll finish the podcast
Dragon
about
guys
the
do not
Tyson
know how to
fight.
hold-
game, 1983.
Okay,
Look at that, Johnny. It brings back good memories, doesn't it? Look,
There you go.
love this.
that guy was cool.
PC game Dragon's Lair trilogy.
Oh, they had it
Oh,
on PC.
There you go. There you go.
Arcade up Dragon's Lair, $1,250 on eBay. Give me
Wow.
a credit card.
Go ahead. Credit card number. I'll give it to you. Read it off to you.
Go say it right now.
7639 Oh shit! Sorry.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
You know, somewhere in the world, someone has that credit card number.
Arcade one up. Dragon's
One
Lair.
up, was it?
Should we just turn the
Dragon's Lair
podcast
2.
off? What are you guys doing?
Space Ace Home Arcade.
We're gonna have to cut this. What are you doing?
Oh,
Well, we just.
That is nothing to do. What are you talking about?
What I'm saying.
You want viewers and you're
this
just having a
game- this
conversation
game was-
about an unrelated arcade game, and you're just laying.
This
Yeah, they
game
have
was
it.
totally developed. It
Yeah,
was,
they have it. This is good viewing.
it was
What
totally
do you guys want
developed.
people to listen to? You guys are nuts.
How come we can never get distracted?
You can get distracted, but go off like a tangent and talk about it, not just watching a video on your phone. We're on camera.
Johnny's gonna.
He's looking
Johnny's
up the
gonna
video of
dump
the thing.
Dragon's Lair.
oh yeah, Dragon's Lair in the back. Definitely. You liked my cut last
Those
week.
are-
Can you
yeah.
put a video
It's gonna
on
go
it?
from a boxing match to
Then
Dragon's
everybody
Lair.
will know. It's a fight. It's a fight.
It is a fight. He fights dragons.
And he's
Whatever.
He's a knight, but he's a little goofy.
It does. It does.
He's not exactly.
He's
like,
kind of like Tyson, a little goofy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not exactly like a Holy Grail knight. He's not like that goofy, but he's pretty goofy.
No, he is.
All right, that's good to know.
He doesn't bite on his sword
And it
either.
was fully developed. Nobody had to write in and say to add more or anything like that. So
That's good.
sorry I went off on a tangent there.
Okay, so
I
we'll go back to the
apologize.
Tyson fight. Let's go back to the bite in the glove. That was driving me crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know
he
about
said
that.
in the end.
He said he always used to do
that
that.
was part
He
of
said
his
he didn't
thing.
want to hurt him or something.
But that
No,
was-
in the match he said that, and later someone said
That was his
just
way of
hearsay.
holding back.
Hold
you know
him
when
back.
you get mad, you're
right,
like this,
right.
Well,
'cause you
one of
can't,
the commentators kept
Right.
saying he always did that,
'cause you-
Yeah.
but like
you're
not that
outside
much.
and you
No
can't
way.
smack
He was
yourself in
doing
the
it
head.
every.
It's like
he was doing it constantly.
It's like he basically had peanut butter on that thing. He was just like
You know what? He was completely frustrated.
Yeah.
Trying to hold back the animal that's in him.
because
Not
the
kill
guy's
this kid.
known for ripping ears off.
Because otherwise he wasn't going to get his $20 million.
Yeah. I
guess.
And listen, again, I don't blame him for getting $20 million. I wish they would have billed it as an exhibition. I wish they would have put it on before the two girls.
That's true.
Right?
Oh,
And
yeah,
then-
that
and
would've
then
been
we
good.
could've
But that
watched-
couldn't be
we
Jake
could've-
Paul's whole thing. Is he's somehow without
he
fighting
still
any
would-
real fighters,
he
he's a
still
prize
would've- He still
fighter.
would have made money. He still would have made money, and he still has an opportunity
I
to
know.
fight people. If he wants to fight real fighters, let him fight real
Yeah, he'll
fighters.
that's a weird thing about him.
What?
That's one
Who?
reason why I don't respect him at all.
Who?
Jake Paul.
Okay.
Because like I said, I doubt in real life he's actually like an insufferable person. I'm sure he's like a normal, relatively fine guy.
Right.
His whole persona is insufferable, but on purpose. Right.
Right, of
So
course.
fine. But the whole fighting thing, I'm like, okay, are you trying to be a real fighter or are you not? Because it's not a difficult it's not like he's like, I'm trying to find real fighters, and the only guy who would fight me was 60-year-old Mike Tyson. I was like, you're clearly trying to fight Mike Tyson.
Oh, yeah.
Any professional boxer will fight you because you're the biggest payday, which you tell everybody
he
all
said
the
that.
time.
He said it at the end
but
of the
then
fight.
fight one of them.
You hear-
Like,
that-
that's what's... I'm like,
when the
he
commentator
had
says,
one
who are
real
you going to fight? Who are you going to fight again? And he goes, I don't look for them. They come for me.
Yeah,
and,
which
and they're
is like,
what do you mean
okay,
they come for
fine.
you? He goes, they know where the money's at. He's cocky.
Yeah.
He
Well,
knows
right
it.
after, he came out some UFC fighter. I don't remember who.
Oh, yeah.
No. See, Jake Paul was talking about somebody else saying like, I'll beat this guy up too. So I'm another old man. And then Rampage Jackson, who's like a UFC fighter who's not too old. Like
Action Jackson's brother.
he's retired. I don't think so. He's retired, but like I don't know how old he is, 30s, maybe 40. I don't know. Like in better shape, like a big guy. And he's like, I'll knock you out for free in a UFC fight. Like you don't have to pay me. Just
Wow.
I'm tired of you talking
fight, right.
smack about all this
He's
stuff.
going to run up against somebody.
No.
Well, no, he won't because he's
because-
right. They are his fights because he's not a real boxer.
Yeah, but he's going to run up against somebody.
There was
who's
rumor
not
that
gonna
he
care.
wants to go against,
Right?
what's his name?
Who's gonna
but
I'll fight you.
what's-
I think he
What's-
picks his fights pretty
What's the Irish guy?
pretty well.
Because I still think Tyson
McGregor?
could have knocked him
McGregor.
out.
But McGregor's all money.
I think
Yeah,
still,
that's
I
why
think
it'd be a
so.
great
But he
fight.
won't care.
Tyson still could have knocked him out, in my opinion. He could have knocked
Right, but
him
if in
out.
the deal is
But
if
in
you
the
knock
deal
me
is
out,
not-
you don't get
right.
paid.
You don't get paid.
They're not going to do it.
Yeah, but
Conor
he's going to
McGregor,
come across
he
somebody
won't
who
do
doesn't
it.
care about the money.
He won't
Maybe.
do what?
Who's
But
gonna
they'd have
say,
to lie
you know what?
first.
Let me.
McGregor
to
won't
your
what?
point, Mike. Earlier, you said,
why?
like, is there anybody that still respects the sport of boxing? Right,
No.
that's going to step up
Evidently
and say,
no.
"This guy, somebody might do it.
Maybe.
Somebody might do it."
Maybe.
Wait,
I
you
hope.
don't-
That's what I hope. I hope a real boxer is like, hey, man, we'll call this a real fight.
Yep.
You'll get to beat me up.
And he goes in
And I
and
get
just-
20 million. He goes in. He just destroys Jake
Destroys
Paul
him.
in the first round.
And doesn't care that he doesn't
Yeah.
get paid?
I was like,
No,
I
he walks
hope
away.
he could then start a GoFundMe.
No, but
And say like,
wouldn't
I
that break
tricked
the
him. This is
contract?
the actual thing. He doesn't get paid.
He probably gets
You
sued.
can't put
Oh.
in the contract. You go to prison.
No, but
Like, there's no way.
You pay me if you knock me out.
Maybe I don't know how contracts
But then-
work. There
then-
has to be a give and take
then
in
the guy wouldn't
contracts.
do
It's
it.
a whole thing.
Whatever it is, I'm saying that you might come across somebody that does it.
It's just like silly because it actually is like frustrating because I'm like, I don't know. He's just lying so often in such a public way, and I'm like, but I know it's like I guess what it is it's annoying when somebody is like clearly just lying to like 12-year-olds, but they get to be famous because 12-year-olds are stupid.
Gullible.
You know what I mean? Or just like dumb
12-year-olds
people.
aren't stupid.
They are.
No, they're not.
I was dumb when I was a 12-year-old. I was dumber.
No, you were just dumb.
Whatever.
It's not 'cause you're
okay,
12.
whatever.
I told you people all shot.
Whatever. You get
you
what
might
I'm
be
saying.
intelligent.
I'm saying like he's just lied. He's like I'm gonna fight Canelo.
Well, anyway,
who's like
listen,
he's never gonna fight, and he could tomorrow.
Here's
Fight.
my thing.
Canelo would just take it for no reason, but he'll never fight Canelo. But he just gets to lie, and like a bunch of retards get to go.
But Mike,
Oh
that's,
man, he's a real
but
boxer.
that's what society is today. So you just got to deal with that. There's a lot of people out there
All
that
right.
aren't what they represent.
But it's
themselves
annoying.
To be.
But I'm saying that's annoying.
I think
that's
you
why I
may
don't like.
come across somebody. These are my final thoughts, and then I'll move on
To what?
to my computer. I think he might come across somebody
Maybe.
that does have the respect for the sport and says, you know what, I'm not going to let you do this anymore.
Maybe.
You know, and gets
Yeah,
in
but
there
he's not gonna
and-
take that
and-
fight.
And gets him knocked down. Well, no, I'm saying like the guy might go in like you said.
Oh.
Only so much could be in the contract. Right?
He'd have to kind of
And
lie.
if the guy goes, I punched him once. I didn't mean to knock him out. Right? It's like
Yeah, he's got a weak chin.
Right.
What am I supposed to do? I gotta make it look like a
didn't mean
fight.
And I was trying to hold back, but it
Yeah.
just went. Like,
That's
what are
gonna
you
be.
gonna do?
It's gonna be hard.
know.
Everybody wants to pay out, man.
Yeah, but you know what? Some of these guys got a lot of money, but you know, there's a pride thing there. So maybe somebody's got enough.
There
pride.
is a
That
price
is
tag.
surprising
Pride
that people
in the
would take.
sport still.
I've always thought taking a fall in a fight
Yeah.
is like not like losing a sporting event. Like it's one thing to throw a football game or a basketball game.
Anything that's one on
People
one.
care about
Losing, but you're just like, this guy beat me up. That's like a real ego thing.
Guys, come on, everything's about money. I'm not saying, and I know you guys are Met fans, so I'm not going to dish your Mets, but you're not.
Yankees
Okay.
kind of.
Okay.
I don't
So,
really
yeah,
care about baseball.
So just to go like Soto, he signed with the Mets for $5 million less than he would have got from the Yankees. I think there was a couple other things.
I might want to leave the Yankees.
But my thing is, if I'm a professional baseball player, I want to be on a team that's going to give me rings and like that kind of stuff. The money's great, but it's like $700 million. I'm pretty good at 700 or 720 or 730.
It's like 760 and 765
Right.
or something.
So
Not a big
right,
difference.
and I think there was a couple
You
things.
would think,
I think the contract was a little longer with the Yankees, like an extra year or something. I forget, but they're like that. Exactly my point is he went with that,
and it's the
because
same
it was,
city.
right?
Like you can't even make the argument like,
exactly.
oh, you'd rather live in LA than
right?
Minnesota.
Exactly. He
or whatever.
went for the team that gave him the best contract and the amount of money. He doesn't care about anything else, and that's what sports are now. And that's
Yeah.
what these guys, they don't care.
Yeah.
It's not about anything else anymore.
I would just I guess because I'm not getting offered that kind of money. Obviously, like maybe it would be different.
Tom
I
Brady,
just feel like there's a lot of
Tom
ego.
Brady gave up money to play for the Bucks, right?
He did.
Yeah,
So there you go.
I don't know.
He's an old school, though.
That's a guy that has
old
pride.
school.
Oh,
Old school.
There's still some
Yeah.
boxers out there that might have
Maybe.
that kind of pride.
That's what makes me think. I'm like, it's a physical sport, man. To have like no like ego's a part. It just has to be a part of it.
Yeah.
So like, just
I-
give that up is
I
crazy.
told you, I could 10,000% see somebody saying it. You know?
Maybe. Yeah.
Well,
I hope
I'd
so.
like to see
I
it.
hope so. I hope
Here's-
that's what happens.
No, I'm saying like I see both sides. I see that definitely people out there that says, "Look, if I could make another 20 million faking a fight,
That's the
I'll
thing.
do it."
Absolutely.
But somebody out there has to be raging mad that they're making a spectacle of the sport.
That's what I mean.
There
Somebody
has
had
be
to.
somebody. And you're right.
And you would think Tyson, like, his whole life story.
You would have thought
Boxing like saved his life. Like
Or-
you got to
yeah.
think Cus D'Amato
Yeah.
is in heaven rolling over, right? And Tyson's like that's his
anybody
whole.
else in Jake Paul's shoes is doing the same thing,
Yeah.
trying to take
His-
fights.
his side for
that,
sure.
that are just making money.
Definitely.
But somebody's gonna, I think somebody's got to be raging mad. Somebody's gonna want to take this guy out. Not just him. Anybody that does that to the sport. Not everybody. There is a lot about money, and like I said, throw $20 million on the table. Ask me to go back, do something for
Yeah.
that I did years ago, and try it one more time. I'd do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd do it too. But I wouldn't want to go in and lose. I really wouldn't. I wouldn't want to go in and lose, but some people could do that.
Yeah, I know. It's just
Some
I don't
people
know.
do that.
That's crazy. Yeah, like Tyson took a loss on his professional record for $20 million
yeah.
to a kid.
For that.
He's
Yeah, for
60.
But he's looking
That's
at
a
like,
spectacle.
but that's why he did it, because
I
he's
know,
60
but like,
against a
I don't
28-year-old.
know, whatever.
You
It's just kind of gross.
it'd be different if
It's
he
just
was in
kinda
his
gross.
like 30s when he was still like in his prime. Or
Yeah,
something.
no, for sure. But like,
you know.
that doesn't help his legacy.
No, I mean,
You know what I mean? I guess in the same way I mentioned before, though, people have such a short. I don't know how much it like takes away from him.
Right.
But I bet there's a lot of not kids, but like
No,
younger.
There's a lot of people that didn't care, Mike. Back.
Didn't care, but
No,
I'm
no.
saying, like, and I understand maybe he just doesn't care about legacy, and that's fine. Not everybody has to or anything. But you got to think, like, even there's kids nowadays who like hear about Mike Tyson, and then that's all they saw of him.
Right,
They've probably
exactly.
heard stories like,
Oh, yeah,
especially
from their
leading up to the
dads.
fight that they go to their dad. They're like, "Hey, my favorite boxer, Jake Paul, is gonna fight Mike Tyson," and dad goes. What? He's 60 years old. And then he's like, oh, no, like, Jake Paul's the best. He's going to kill this guy. And then the dad starts going like, this is Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
This is Iron Mike. He's a killer.
He's a killer.
And he explains all this stuff to the kid. The kid's like, okay. And then Jake Paul beats him. And now the kid's like, Jake Paul's better than Mike Tyson. Like, I'd punch my kid in the face.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That would annoy me. Like, I wouldn't want to have one of those kids.
Yeah.
It's like annoying that they're all around now. It's like a whole
yeah.
thing that there's people who are doing that.
You know
saying
what
that.
else makes, like, it's not just us three who thought Tyson. Anyone I've talked to, and a lot of people, and even on the radio during the commentary, everybody said Tyson was going to win it.
Yeah.
So
Listen.
that shows
I'm
something was up.
really going to end here, but the
Yeah, because your
like
time's going to
when
go
it
off.
was first announced, I was like, he's 60. This kid's young. Maybe he could do it. And I know a lot about Jake Paul anyway. Then I started watching
video,
training
yeah, he looked
videos,
good.
and I'm like, wow.
He looked fast.
Now I was getting excited, And then I really thought he was going to win. And then halfway into it,
I know.
even,
Rug
I'm like,
pull.
I wasn't
this
even caring
ridiculous.
anymore.
Like by the third round, I was
Anyway,
like,
Yeah.
end it, just end it.
Boxing, all sports, whatever. Maybe they're fixed, maybe they're not. But I'd like to watch those two girls fight again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd watch the third one.
Because that was
Hopefully Serrano gets the win.
That was gladiatorish.
She should
And I
come
know
wearing a
that,
helmet.
a lot of it was the head
She should wear like an army, like a real helmet.
No,
But
just the thing around the head, so headbutts won't affect her.
she needed Mickey in her corner, man.
Yeah.
Anyway, boxing, Mike Tyson, we love you.
Yeah.
Come and talk with us.
Yeah,
Don't bring the tiger.
let it chew our ear off. You get it? Get it?
Yeah.
You don't-
Oh, yeah.
Thank
I
you.
do get
Johnny
that. That's
said
good.
that. Just make sure Johnny said that. Chew our ear off. Anyway,
That's it.
that's it. That's all we got. And as always, stay
Angry, annoyed, and amused. What is wrong with you guys?